So this is a 1394, that's my own tractor, and it's in the workshop here to do a few jobs to it. Basically repair a few things and a few modifications. So first up, the kingpin bearings, the little stub bosses that press into the axle beam itself, are loose in the axle beam. So this obviously has a front end loader on it, so that is going to get worse and the wheels will just start leaning over. So the tops I think are okay, but the bottoms are worn, so we're going to strip all the hubs off and see what we can do with that. It's currently got a blown head gasket. It's putting air into the cooling system. It's not getting water anywhere, it's just pushing air out of the cylinder into the radiator. So I still had some silage to do, so I actually just run a cap on here that didn't have a spring in it, so just sealed the top, and then I ran this pipe here out through the bonnet and taped it to the pre-cleaner, just so I could keep an eye on how much water it was pushing out. So that allowed it just to let the gases go without pushing all the water out. So I got the couple of jobs I had left with it done and managed to get it home. So I wouldn't mind enlarging the radiator possibly. I can't really go any wider, but maybe I can lift it a bit, get another 50 or 60 mil and a new core. Don't know if we'll be able to see, but it's got the center row, the center row of cores is only every second core. There's sort of one missing every second one, so the outside cores have got a full run there and on the front one, but the center core is only every second, so there's a bit of cooling capacity there. But you can sort of see if I'm getting a new core, I could probably lift this up to here and just extend the fan shroud. I'm just thinking about that at the moment. Possibly doing pistons, rings and liners, I think. Then it's all nice and tidy. The other problem is the 3-point linkage pulses a lot. It needs the linkage valve in there resetting. Just basically got to go through it, put new O-rings in it, and I'll do the lift cylinder on the other side. Sorry, it's quite a bit of mess in here. So yeah, the lift cylinders in here, so pull all this off and the front end and redo the O-rings on that piston. It's a bit hard to see, but yeah, the other valves in here that I've got to pull out. Also, it's got a stack of 3 remote valves in here. I put them on for a loader wagon that I was using. I don't need them anymore, so I'll take the top one off because it's actually quite close to the bottom floor of the cab. So just run the 2, go back to original. You'll see these rims are different. These are off a Fiat 9090. So I've gone from a 30-inch rim to these are 34. So they're a bit closer to the guard. And also the fronts. I'll keep the centres. But these rims are, this part of the rim's wider than the standard tyres. So as you can see the size there. The 4-wheel drive seems to work really quite well. There's no wind up or anything in it, so yeah, obviously a bit wider tyre than the 12.4 1124s that were on it. They were probably maybe about that wide. The rear tyres are the same width, just these ones are radials. The old ones were cross plies. You see an oil leak there that's leaking out of the four-wheel drive drop box. The cross shafts, O-rings or seals or whatever, obviously need doing there. I've got a little bit of work to do on the aircon. It was working. I think it's a little bit low on gas, so and the compressor is quite tired, so I'll see what I can do with that. And as far as other upgrades, got a couple here. I was planning to put this Bosch rotary pump on. It's obviously 4-cylinder as well, but it's got this boost aneroid for increasing the fuel once the engine comes under boost. So it's a 3-bolt, the same as the CAV pump, but it's got a tapered shaft on the front. So I've had the insert that come off this pump. So this is out of an International 856 engine. I've had a David Brown timing gear machine to suit this taper. So we'll see how that goes. I've still got to work out sort of how to time. I know you can put a dial gauge up through the back plug here and set the plunger lift, but obviously these aren't fitted to these engines, so might be a bit of trial and error. And then the next thing is I've got this intercooler here off some sort of Subaru car. It's a water to air one. It's got an inlet and outlet there. I've had this changed, so it's got this little snout put on there, and this does actually fit under the bonnet. So we remove this standard turbo pipe which comes straight from the compressor into the inlet manifold there. Yeah, that fits down in there, and then this top pipe will just feed straight into the turbo there. So I've got to make one up to between the two and just spin that housing around, but I'm not sure. I may change that turbo. I feel that this is the same as a 1494 turbo as well. The engines are the same size. The 1494s have a bigger crankshaft journals on the mains and the big ends. But otherwise the engine itself, the bore, stroke, everything's the same. But these Schwitzer turbos seem to be too big in my thoughts. They don't provide enough. I mean, perfectly fine for a standard tractor, but you know, you can open the fuel up a bit in these pumps. They just start sort of black smoking because the turbo's not small enough to keep up with the fueling. So I've got a couple of options I might try hanging around here. I'll just show you one. This is a TD05H off I think it was a Subaru car. Obviously has a wastegate, but the exhaust housing is certainly a bit smaller. So there will be some modifications that need doing. Obviously that doesn't bolt up to this setup. But yeah, just thinking about this at the moment. Another thing, here is the gear. So this has got the center out of a rusted in there. Center out of a International which this pump come off. So you can see the existing, or what's left of the 3 holes from the CAV pump. So this is a David Brown gear. Yeah, so I've just got to fit that and time that to that pump. Obviously clean it up, it's been sitting for a while. I'll probably check this pump out as well, make sure it's all good to go. I have previously, I've put new tips on the injectors, so they're all set, they're all quite new. The headers had the valves done, and been skimmed, that sort of thing. So probably going to do the bore the block and have that surface, so then the new gasket will seal that up hopefully quite nicely. I think that's most of what I'm going to do to it this time around. So yeah, if you have any comments, I'll try and video what I can and go from there. Thanks.